Welcome back to Countdown. I'm Lindsay Janis.
I'm Owen Thomas. Austerity in Europe is becoming a more emotional matter.
Chiedere un secondo.
The Italian Prime Minister Mario Monti has to interject as his Labour minister breaks down in her attempt to help deliver another 20 billion euros worth of austerity measures.
But our next guest says the most important initiatives to boost Italian growth aren't even in the programme. And when it comes to EU leaders' summits in Brussels, well, he lives in hope more than expectation.
He is Professor Giuliano Noci, Associate Dean at the MIP School of Management, and he joins us now live from Milan. Professor Noci, won't this threat of an S&P downgrade for all European countries help concentrate minds, maybe bring a solution just a little bit closer?
Well, what the Standard & Poor's message tells clearly yesterday is that the European Union is in sight of a real crisis. In my opinion, Mrs. Merkel and Mr. Sarkozy even yesterday did not provide a clear message that the European Union wants to establish a clear fiscal integration and a clear integrated policy for administrating the overall European economy. In this respect, the austerity plan of Mr. Monti in Italy just represent the necessary condition for the relaunch of the European Union, but we need to hope that on Friday and Saturday really something will happen.
You say that the main things that should have been in the plan for Italy aren't even there. What are they?
Well, this is really an austerity plan. It must be assessed as the first step, because I believe that after 15 days, Mr. Monti did not have really the chance to check everything. It contains a lot of increases in taxes. We need a further step now, because Italy needs a long journey towards a real growth. So I really hope that in the next few weeks, this government will introduce new measures aimed at fostering the economical growth of a stagnant Italy.
Well, what specifically are those elements of growth do you need, and how can you have austerity on one hand and growth on the other?
Well, first of all, in terms of austerity, what I think it must, the new government should start a real spending review. I mean, as everybody knows, in Italy we have one of the largest public debt of the world, so checking the public spending it's a must in order to reduce public expenses. Well, coming to the second point, how to foster growth. Well, first of all, a real tax reform. I mean, in Italy we have a real fiscal burden. What I think is that we need to reduce taxes in order to support companies in their process of investment. Second, it's absolutely necessary a real reform of labor. As everybody knows, we have 1 out of 3 of young people who are unemployed. Well, how to allow them to get into the job market? Well, we have too much rigid structure of a labor law, so we need to modify it. And finally, what I think is that we have a very important public assets. Well, we should start a real sales of some of the public assets in order to reduce the overall public debt. These are just some of the measures that are absolutely necessary in order to combine austerity with real growth of Italy.
And Professor, they sound very familiar, as we've heard many countries contemplating these same measures. But I want to know this. Is it right that all European countries, right through all people in the Eurozone, from Greece to Italy to Germany, share the same credit rating?
Well, I think, it's not really true. What we have is that we have, unfortunately, a two-speed Europe, two types of speeds. South Europe with, let me say, a limited possibility of growth, a huge public debt, a significant deficit. And Northern Europe, which is in some way in the opposite situation. This is the problem of the European Central Bank, this is the problem of the European Commission, how to combine a two-speed Europe. Well, I think it's mandatory to solve this problem because on a worldwide perspective, single countries does not have a chance to be competitive with respect to US and China. So Europe must be, European Union must be integrated and must be act as a whole. So I really hope that such as two-speed economy will be well managed in the future. We must hope for the future of our economy and we must hope for the future of the world.
Professor Giuliana Noci, Associate Dean at
MIP School of Management in Milan.
Thanks.
Many thanks.
All right.